6 million chickens boiled alive every year in slaughterhouses. That's the industry figure. The milling average is the industry figure.
So
this isn't stuff that
college and tell 150 vegetarians. I mean, what's that?
All right. I'm gonna have to move on, but Bruce, if you're okay, Bruce is gonna say one more thing, but then I have a lot of hands I'm looking at. So we try very hard to work with animal sciences. I mean, one of the things that we're supporting is a whole new way of slaughtering chickens called controlled atmosphere killing, and we take chicken slaughter from the worst to the best. We look at all of the issues and try to work with industry, as does the Humane Society of the United States, to lessen suffering. I mean, we're happy to try to lessen suffering as we move to our eventual goal, but the reality is that other animals are made of flesh and blood and bone, just like human beings are. They have the same 5 physiological senses that we do. They have the same range of emotions. And the foremost Darwin scholar, the foremost scientist of evolution today is Richard Dawkins. He says there's no morally relevant difference, that evolution worked on other species in exactly the same way that it worked on us. He calls other species our cousins, and denounces what he calls speciesist arrogance. So you can only deny the science for so long, and eventually we will win. Right there in the... okay, behind you, and then you.
Talking about fuel efficiency, we see a lot. Why not, eat our pets that die, or our parents, or something like that? That's, food wasted.
Well, it strikes me as aesthetically unpleasant, but certainly more moral than paying people to abuse animals and then eating them. Well, there is a line that meat eaters draw, and I don't think it's a line that has ethical cogency.
Is there a line everybody draws? You get to choose, kind of?
Anybody who eats meat is saying, some flesh is okay and other flesh isn't okay. Seems to me.
Right. So there's no answer.
What's your question?
All right. My question is, talking about food efficiency. These people are starving, caloric intake compared to how much we feed a cow this much soy. This soy would feed 50 people, but if we feed 1 cow, it would feed like 10 people. All right. Why not say, all right, our pets die, let's eat them for food. Our parents die. That's tasty. I'll eat that too. Morally speaking, you go, oh no, that's horrible. But you look at it a different way and you say, oh well, fuel efficiency-wise, that's better. And everyone goes, everyone in this room is going to be crazy. Not going to be parents. Maybe some cultures will. But if there's a moral line, and everybody's drawing it somewhere.
It's an interesting point, it seems to me. And yes, I mean, most people are not going to eat corpses if they're corpses of beings they know. But meat eaters are eating corpses of beings they don't know. There was an interesting case. Robert Picton murdered about 50 women in British Columbia. He was also a pig farmer, and he served up these women as pig flesh. People couldn't tell the difference because a corpse is a corpse is a corpse. Aesthetically, I find eating corpses, unappealing. But it goes beyond that. There are environmental issues, global poverty issues, there's cruelty issues. But I don't eat corpses because I think it's wrong. Whether it's, Fido or Grandma. Well, there's an interesting piece in the New York Times, Susan Orlean, a couple weeks ago, talking about the range of personalities in chickens. It is becoming more common for people to treat chickens as pets. Okay.
Culinary.
Yeah, we're going to run out of time, so I'm going to have to move along pretty quickly here. There you go.
Hello, Bruce. I just have a few, I'm not really seeking a debate, it's so much a few clarifications. So you mentioned the Humane Society. Is PETA then more concerned with animal rights or animal welfare?
We see them as the same. I mean, animal welfare and animal rights, we're concerned with both.
But, I mean, there is a difference between allowing for farming to go on. That's what I understand welfare. We can farm chickens and eat them as long as we don't, debeak them or
Right.
them in bad conditions. So would you say that on that stance that you're more for animal rights or?
Well, our philosophy is overtly animal rights. A lot of our resources go into animal welfare because we try to apply the golden rule across the species barrier. If I'm a chicken in a battery cage, I want to get out of the battery cage. I don't just want people saying, free the chicken, free the chicken. If the best I can get is out of the battery cage, I want that.
Okay. And just a quick question. How long have you been the vice president of PETA?
Well, I've been with PETA for 13 years. I've been a PETA VP for maybe 4 or 5.
Okay. And you mentioned racing before. Is PETA for or against pets?
The organization doesn't have the organizational mission is animals are not ours to eat, to wear, to experiment on, or to use for human amusement. I would guess that about 98% of staff share our lives with companion animals. The question we try to ask is what's in the best interest of the animal involved. And I think Gracie's is the life we're living, and that's the decision most people at PETA come to.
You're the red.
PETA seems to be willing to give animals the same moral rights as humans, right?
No, not exactly.
So you don't hold them to the same moral standards?
No, I mean, I'm Roman Catholic, so I hold human beings to a higher moral standard, and one of the moral standards that I hold us to is God's stewards on earth. And that's me personally, but you can extrapolate that in a more secular way to how PETA sees the humans and other animals. Basically, we think that we should be protectors of and do the best we can by both humans and other animals.
And the second question is, you say that we're not made to eat meat, per se?
Physiologically, right.
Physiologically? Well, then why is protein from meat sources more highly absorbable, and also iron in human form more highly absorbable from meat sources than it is from plant sources?
Well, I mean, the calories in meat, the saturated fat in meat is also,